Hello, Lou Hamilton from Audible Elegance of Cincinnati, Ohio, doing a video from my home. And we have a website, audibleelegance.com. We do work on X, Instagram, Facebook. I write a monthly blog. We've just opened our orphanage up a new way where we list both new and used gear. And we're very pleased to have added now Straightwire as someone who's authorizes to sell to people around the country, which, as a footnote to that and kind of an ancillary to one of my earlier videos, if you have a Straightwire dealer in your city, please buy from them. I'm not interested in hurting a fellow dealer. Those people are earning their livings too, so I just wanted to put that to the side. What I want to talk about tonight is I'm glad that you look at my videos, and I hope you do subscribe. But I also look at other people's videos. There's the OCD guy, which I find really amusing. He's a lot of fun. Most recently, I listened to Paul McGowan over at PS Audio, trying to explain power ratings. And Paul's tackled this one a number of different ways, and he had at it again with some good explanations. But I wanted to add on to that, not from the technical side of how he explained it, but from the standpoint that a lot of the ratings that are generated are done essentially with controlled and static loads. The normal requirement under the Federal Trade Commission, which applies to stereo equipment, does not apply to multi-channel home theater equipment. Keep that footnote. Is they put an 8-ohm test load resistor on the amplifier or the integrated. They require the manufacturer to specify how much distortion they will allow. They'll turn the amplifier on to full power, or what they're trying to rate to, and they're looking for that distortion, but they're also looking to see whether the amplifier can sustain that power output without self-destructing. So that's part of the exam. And they run a frequency sweep from 20 to 20,000 cycles, which is the range of human hearing at some point or another. As we get older, we hear a little bit less, and that could be an advantage, I guess, with some systems. But the truth of the matter is that a real loudspeaker has a very different characteristic than an 8-ohm test load resistor. The impedance curve of many speakers, particularly if it gets around a resonant frequency, can look something like a roller coaster, which they'd love to build and not have people fly off the track. And where those dips and peaks occur in the resistance can be anywhere. The worst place for dips to be is in the real low frequencies. We had one speaker actually, the second generation, have an impedance of about 2 ohms at about 40 cycles, and a lot of amplifiers got eaten by that one. And so how an amplifier deals with a real speaker is very different than how it deals with an 8-ohm test load resistor. Speakers also have a reactive or capacitive characteristic. So as a conventional cone moves, it's instructed to move a certain frequency, a certain distance, and then it's suddenly told to do something else. And at that brief second, you have a voice coil in a magnetic structure that's actually generating an electrical pulse that goes back at the amplifier. How the amplifier deals with that and controls it varies from amplifier to amplifier. Some designs, let's say like a Magnepan. A Magnepan is a pure resistive load, about 6 ohms, I think, as I recall. But it is a capacitive load, and Martin electrostats are capacitive loads. So how an amplifier deals with that also can be very, very different, regardless of the power ratings. The first experience I really saw of this was a very early version of a Rotel Class D amplifier. And of course, they were paired with B&W and marketing and such, and in their performance with Bauer and Wilkins speakers, it was fine. It was Rotel class, which was pretty good. It was fine. But you took that Class D amplifier and we put it over on something like a Magnepan, and it sounded like a can of paste, is the only way of describing it. It was just dreadful. And so you take it back and you put it on a dynamic loudspeaker, and it's kind of going, oh, okay. Back to, it's a capacitive load, and it goes to hell again. So keep in mind that while you're looking at specifications and power, how that amplifier actually works with a real loudspeaker can be very different than the power ratings. So Paul's explanation recently given a few days ago was really quite good. But do be careful about power ratings. And please understand that in home theater products, there is no regulation as to how those ratings are generated. Whether they apply the standard, which I talked about is kind of like specifications and other nonsense, is true or not, I don't know. But you can use almost any form to create all sorts of stats, and it's how it performs into a real speaker is the key. So take a look at these other sites that I mentioned. It's some really fine and fun reviews, and learn from that. But keep in mind that the ultimate test, the ultimate proof of the pudding, is in the eat. And so listen to what you're considering and go from there. Thank you.